You. We are the Center for Spiritual Living West Georgia. You know, we study and practice the philosophy and the science of the mind we know as God. And with our spiritual presence here and our participation in our service this morning, we actually create a higher state of consciousness. We rise above any negative energy we may have experienced this past week and manifest love. We know love is synonymous to God, the most powerful yet most gentle force in the universe. Without further ado, I will turn it over to our president.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Love seeing all these new faces. Hi, everybody. Welcome. And to the old faces. Can we hear me now? I'd like to introduce someone's very special this morning. As you know, we have had an empty pulpit, and we put out the word and ask for guest speakers to come and be a part of our very loving community. And our speaker today was the first to respond. And so we are very, very delighted to have her here. This is Dr. Scheherazade Taylor, and she's actually has her doctorate in psychiatric nursing, and she has done all kinds of things. So I'm going to give you just a snippet of what she's done. She's a retired substance abuse counselor, a registered nurse, a nurse administrator, and a university professor. Dr. Scheherazade Taylor has varied and comprehensive lived experiences. She has counseled underachieving children, incarcerated offenders, those with mental disorders, and adults and adolescents with substance addictions. Her spiritual pathways have taken her in many diverse directions as well. Her personal religious paths range from Catholicism to religious science and include the study of many other religious paths. Scheherazade has offered spiritual guidance and counseling as a Centers of Spiritual Living practitioner and as a certified life coach. She is excited about being a contributor to and member of the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta community. Scheherazade and her partner, Dr. Charles Taylor, who is with us today. Thank you, Dr. Taylor, for coming. They just celebrated, 40 years of marriage this year. Woohoo! They are both retired and now live in Savannah, and they have made the journey up here to be with us. So I want you all to give a warm welcome, which I know you will, to Dr. Scheherazade Taylor. Thank you.
Good morning again. It is my privilege to give the treatment this morning. So if we would all get comfortable, and if you can, if comfortable, put your feet flat on the floor so that you can be in contact with Mother Earth, divine. So I'm going to say this in first person. But anything I say, if it resonates with you, please take it to heart. So this is what I know. All the power that ever was or will be is here now. And I get to be one with all this power, all this love, all this joy, all this health and wealth is mine if I choose to claim it. Because I know I am a sinner of the will to good. It flows in and through me, as me, is me now. And I know, because I know who I am, that mine is the victorious life. if I but choose it. And so I do. In this moment, I choose all the health and wealth and happiness and abundance that is mine. I choose it now as I know it's good for me and is mine. I know the same is true for each and every one present. I know the same is true for the Center of Spiritual Living West Georgia right now. I know my words have power. I speak them with certainty, and I release them knowing that the law of cause and effect means they come right back to me, flowing ever so much grace, ever so much goodness. Knowing this is the truth, knowing I am grateful and full of gratitude, I say with everyone present, and so it is.
Hello, everyone. Cynthia has sent prayers out to her and her husband. She's usually the one in charge of music, and I'm her backup crew. So, today we're going to do a song I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, Pour Yourself in Me. And Marsha will produce the words so we can sing along. And, I'm going to do it a cappella, so I'm going to need all your help. Okay. So here we go. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, shine your light in me. Shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, shine your light in me. Shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, sing your song in me. Sing your song into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, sing your heart in me. Sing your heart into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, dance and smile with me. Dance and smile into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit.
Connie's a hard act to follow. Thank you, Connie. And you're not the backup. You're the part of. I'd love to have you all stand, because we want to read our vision and statement, mission statement together. CSL West Georgia is a joyful global community where everyone belongs. Through our unique spiritual teachings, we provide a safe environment to experience compassionate living. And our declaration of principles: I believe there is one creative intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe my purpose is to allow this divine mind to express in, as, and through me. I know that this divine presence is a power for good, which responds to my conscious use to create a life filled with health, love, peace, and success in all things. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is. We have music coming. Pause. Marvelous Marcia is coming through again.
I want to say thank you for the way you gently open my eyes. No matter what I do, your love is always coming through. When I look in any situation and I see yes, I see yes, I see yes to your love. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, and I see yes. Great Spirit, I see yes. Father, Mother, I see yes. To your love, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. You've created me fearlessly and wonderfully to be your instrument. Use me, I surrender in this moment. Let my hands be your vessel, let my soul be your temple. Yes, yes, and I see yes. Great Spirit, I see yes. Surrender, I say yes. To your love, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, I see yes. Great Spirit, I say yes. Father, I sing yes to your love. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. And take my hands, do what you will, and take my voice, do what you will, and take my all, do what you will, and let your love flow through me. Can you sing Take My Hands with me, please? And take my hands, do what you will, take my voice, and take my voice, do what you will, take my all, and take my all, do what you will, let your love flow through me. I know you know the plans to prosper me, yes. Give me hope in the future, and I say yes. I surrender, and I say yes, yes, and I say yes, yes, and I say yes. Can you help me with that? Yes, and I say yes. Say yes to love. Yes, say yes to peace. Yes, and we sing yes. Yes, Great Spirit, we sing yes. Yes, Father, Mother, we sing yes. Yes, yes, and we sing yes. To your love we sing yes. To oneness, perfection we sing yes. Yes, yes, and we sing yes. Great Spirit, we sing yes. Father, Mother, we sing yes. To your love, oh yes, oh yes. One more time, sing that with me, please. Yes, we sing yes. To the limitless love and light we are. We sing yes. To the grace that is sufficient. We sing yes. To your love, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
Don't we say yes to John Stringer? Whoa. Did you all meet him last week when he was here? No, wonderful. He and his wife came to visit us last week. What a thrill, because we've watched his beautiful videos, thanks to Marcia putting them on for us. Today, we have another wonderful guest. This is why I've introduced you, and you've met her, Dr. Scheherazade Taylor. And today she's going to be talking about health and wellness, mental health, and how it affects all of us. So our reading today that I've found, and sometimes, you find things in your backyard when you're least expecting them. I read all kinds of books and thought, what am I going to say, that could possibly introduce her? And guess what? I found it in this month's Science of Mind magazine. So, y'all, if you don't get this, I'm telling you, it's a godsend, literally. So today's reading. Yesterday, I called a friend who is navigating the loss of several beloved family members. As we began to talk about her grief journey, the conversation took a surprising turn. She told me about a bird that had built a nest on her front porch. As the weeks passed, the nest became populated with speckled eggs and tiny babies with mouths open wide. Mama bird soared in and out to feed them, and each day the baby birds grew a little stronger. I am so thankful for this nest, she told me. It's the bright spot in my days. My friend was seeing the possibility of beauty showing up in the midst of her suffering. Her thankfulness was a star in her dark night. Like the little sprout making its way through a crack in the sidewalk, her gratitude planted anew seeds of hope in an unwelcoming field. Sometimes we see this with cancer patients, recovering alcoholics, or people who feel their energy return after an illness. The mundane can seem precious, and the world can look new. My mother calls this seeing the world through sacred eyes. Gratitude spontaneously rises for the gift of one more surprise, for another chance at life, for renewed strength. When we practice gratitude, even simple things can bring small moments of joy to a difficult season of life. Poet Maya Angelou put it this way: the ship of my life may or may not be sailing on calm and amiable seas. The challenging days of my existence may or may not be bright and promising. Stormy or sunny days, glorious or lonely nights, I maintain an attitude of gratitude. If I insist on being pessimistic, there's always tomorrow. Today, I am blessed. Whether we are in calm or stormy seas, we have in our spiritual toolbox a shining star. Our dedicated gratitude practice. There is solid research revealing the extensive benefits of gratitude for mind, body, and soul. For the time it takes to count our blessings, there's a real life return on our investment. Happiness. Research makes clear the link between practicing gratitude daily and the happiness, optimism, health, confidence, and enthusiasm people feel in their lives. As Brother David Steindl-Last reminds us, it is not happiness that makes us grateful, it's gratefulness that makes us happy. Kindness. People who practice gratitude offer more emotional support to their partners and those around them, uplifting other lives as well as their own. Better sleep. A number of studies link gratitude journaling before bed with sleeping longer, waking up feeling more refreshed, and experiencing a greater sense of wakefulness during the day. Mental health. Several other studies show depression to be inversely correlated with gratitude practice, with an overall improvement in mental health in those who give thanks daily. Gratitude in advance. This is the practical writing down blessings that have not yet come to fruition in your life. Thank you for my new job. Thank you for my perfect health. It's a powerful way to manifest your intentions and dreams for the future. Finding greater happiness, peace, and spiritual connection in our lives is the result of what we choose to practice. Will we count our blessings or our burdens? Spiritual practices, like the practice of gratitude, forge new ways of looking at the world from a higher perspective. The benefits of your spiritual practice filter in everything you do and lift everyone around you. Start today by noticing what is good, loving, and kind. Recognize the beauty, the blessings, and the gifts, and give thanks.
And you'll see why in a minute. So, good morning, Center of Spiritual Living, West Georgia. Aren't you glad you're awake and alive on this beautiful fall day? I love this type of weather in Georgia where I'm not sweating and I don't have any snowflakes. It's just right. I feel like Goldilocks. So once again, my name is Scheherazade Taylor, and I'm a Spiritual Living of Atlanta practitioner, and I live in Savannah, Georgia. I'm happy and excited about being here today to introduce myself to your community and to introduce my husband, my partner, my friend, sticks behind me through thick and thin. So today I want to talk to you about some laws that govern spiritual wellness. But before I do, I want to say that I'm happy that I get to share in the celebration of Dorothea Baker Gates' new book, Insight Without Change is Meaningless. When I read the title, I thought, wow, that's the truth, straightforward and to the point. And that's because insight is an ability to see into the causes of a situation or why change is necessary. One must have insight, a deep intuitive understanding and awareness, a consciousness before enacting any change. Next, one has to have the will, the determination, the desire to act. Now, our will doesn't make us anything that we're not. My will not make me 5'9", no matter how much I would like to be. I'm 5'6", and I'm sure I'm not going to get any taller, not in this life. But will is directive, and it leads to the execution of an act. So taking action leads to change. And through insight, will, and action, we give meaning to the changes we make in our lives. We must consciously ask ourselves what insights spark a desire to make change. Our insights and our experiences help us to realize what and who we are. Question is, do we allow ourselves to completely be ourselves? Do we set in motion the changes in our lives that recognize that we are individual expressions of the divine? Once we have the insight and will, the question becomes, how do we know the changes we want to make or will make will be for our highest good? Now, this is important because the changes we have set into motion have consequences. And one of the changes I set into motion led me to this topic, spiritual laws of wellness. See, I was teaching graduate nursing students, and I came up against some stiff opposition from one of my fellow professors. She took exception to the presentation during a research seminar I was holding. She took exception as to one of the presenters. The seminar was about how do you do research in minority communities. The presenter was talking about healthy eating. My fellow professor, who happened to be the head of the nutrition department, objected because some of the eating habits had not been thoroughly researched. And so she told me that if I wanted to teach my students nutrition, she would have one of her faculty members come in and hold a class and teach them. I explained to the professor, who had arrived to the seminar late, that the purpose of the seminar was to show graduate students how to establish community relationships for research purposes. Now, this is important because of our country's past history of using minorities, people, and communities inappropriately in research. Anybody heard of the Tuskegee Project? Okay. Community members, like my presenter, had established trust. They were the gatekeepers. Often you aren't going to get into the community if you can't be introduced by someone that they trust. Further, this particular presenter had spoke to doctors at a very prestigious university. But more importantly, my students were graduate students. They were undergraduate students. If I went to them and said, oh, I'm going to teach you a nutrition class, they'd have been insulted because some of them were teachers just like me at other universities. Now, none of this impressed the professor because she held that information about nutrition should be under the control of nutritionists. And from that moment on, I realized just how much our healthcare system in this country is about power, politics, and treating disease rather than helping people stay well. So what I really wanted to do was to pioneer ways to help people stay well in spirit, mind, and body. So now I give online wellness classes, and I use new thought principles, my own healthcare and personal experience, as well as Greg Anderson's 22 non-negotiable laws of wellness. Well, so I'm going to ask some questions throughout, and I want you to think about these questions when it comes to health. I want you to have a shift in how you look at health. It's not something to be, I got to tend to diet, and I love to eat, and I can't eat this, and I can't do that, and I don't like to exercise. There's only a couple of things I like to do in terms of exercise, come to think of it, but at any rate, did you know that the law of cause and effect, or karma, is also a spiritual wellness law? Law of cause and effects operates in, through, and all around us. And once this law gets into motion, it starts working right away to bring about results and consequences. So therefore, what we set in motion can result in health and wellness or sickness and pain. Now, as a child, we all learn about the law of cause and effect. I had to learn about my parents' non-negotiable laws, like when they said, be in the house before the sunset, I best be in the house before the sunset, because there were definite consequences if I was not. And I wasn't in the discussion, don't try to negotiate. The more I tried to argue, the more trouble I got into. Okay? Another non-negotiable was talking back. You did not talk back to your elders. So I learned very, very quickly that staying out past curfew or talking back had swift consequences. But as adults, we can learn how to use cause and effect for wellness, because what we wish and expect governs the results we get. We have that much power. What we wish and expect governs what we get. So here's the choice. We can experience this physical reality called life through joy, or we can experience life through suffering. It's as simple and complicated as that. Wellness can happen through love of life rather than fear and suffering. And those who don't learn this fact never really grow up or have very troubled lives. Ernest Holmes reminds us that all is law, and yet all is love. Both love and law are perfect, and we, as individuals, can experience only what we really believe and act upon. I like to think of us as being perfectly imperfect. So what we realize, or when we realize that love works through the law, we can see the way to freedom is through love, and by law. So the question is, as New Thought believers, are we allowing the love to transform, transfix, transmute our lives? Do we allow that? We're New Thought thinkers, you know. But do we really believe that? Do we really believe we are perfect expressions of all that is divine? Do we really love our lives? Both love and law are perfect, and we as individuals can experience, say it again, only what we really believe and act upon. So when I was a little girl, I was a problem child. Yeah, I know that's hard to believe. I know it's hard to believe, but I was. In school, I talked when I should be quiet. I didn't stay in my seat, and I daydreamed a lot. Now, fortunately for me, when I was a child, they didn't have names and labels for that. They do now. So I remember sitting in fear and anguish when I brought home my report card because I knew some consequences was coming to me. But no matter what the consequences, I always knew my parents loved me. One day, my mother broke down in tears. Through no small financial and personal costs, my parents had transferred me from public school to Catholic school, and the nuns and priests couldn't do anything with me either. So all the spanking, grounding, and scolding didn't really give me the insight and the determination to change my behavior. But my love for my mother gave me the insight that I needed. I didn't realize that I was and am good, and that I was not and am not my behavior. Oh, the spankings, the scoldings, the heartbreak, the self-doubt. I could have saved myself if I had known as a child my divine nature. Be that as it may, I did learn early in life the power of love for my mother. The power of love, self-love, was a lesson I was yet to learn. The more we are able to act out love of self on a daily basis, the greater our wellness will be. Seeing ourselves as divine individuals creates self-love no matter what our physical appearance, financial status, or mental intellect. Self-love is a child of love of life. Let me say that again. Self-love is the child of love of life. We are surrounded by a spirit of living intelligence. You have that in your principles. An eternal givingness, love, goodness, and power that wishes to express itself through us. There is a divine urge within, ever pushing us forward to our goals. And so says Ernest Holmes. And this is not only a fact, it is a spiritual law. It is the spiritual law of esprit, or love of life. And it is the ability to say, as John Stringer said over and over again, it's the ability to say yes. Yes to life. It is the energy of the divine within each and every one of us. This divine urge is life itself. And this spirit wishes us to be well. How else could it best express itself through us? This spirit wishes us to be well. And it makes sense because it does want to express through us. And where's Sandy? You don't get a kick out of this. Let's say this Maya Angelou affirmation together. Please repeat after me. I love life.
I love life.
I engage in it. I give it all I've got. I love life with a passion. because life truly does give back many times over what I put into it. Yep. What I put in. Very good. Now, I'm not naive. I know in times like these, it can be difficult to feel happy and in love with life. Many are totally convinced that their view of reality is the only reality, and anyone who doesn't share their view is crazy. Confusion reigns. We look at each other, and sometimes we say, "Are you crazy? What's wrong with you?" And then some people will respond, "I'm not crazy. My reality is just different from yours." So more and more we find ways to separate ourselves from each other, to dislike each other, to be angry with each other. And more we are unforgiving. Talked about. See, I just love this because we didn't get together for all this, and it just flows so nice. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? But there can be no love of life, no spiritual wellness without forgiveness. As beautiful as the word forgiveness is, it can be difficult to practice for all the reasons I mentioned and many more. But power lies in the law of forgiveness because it promotes our emotional and mental wellness. We forgive not to let the other person off the hook because we're, each and every one of us, responsible and accountable for our behavior. We forgive to let ourselves off the hook. Because not forgiving is toxic. Not forgiving can lead to resentment in relationships, animosity, and even hate. Hate is the death of wellness. It is the death of physical, emotional, and mental wellness. How often has hate driven individuals to do horrifying